What's up, guys? It's been too long. We're finally rebuilding my castle for patch 19, 20? I don't know, the one in December, whatever that update was. So we're finally going to go through and rebuild my castle a little bit. One thing that you'll notice is a lot of the traps I haven't removed yet, and these are basically the same room setup that I had before. I'm thinking that I'm going to remove this room, and this room, and replace them, but the other rooms will actually work just as well for the setup that I'm going for. And actually, this last room of my castle, I think the only thing I'll need to update is these two Stairmasters. And although just switching them over to teleport will probably solve that problem as well. So I think this last room is fine the way it is. I think like this group is okay. This group is okay. And these rooms that all have traps in them are still okay. But these rooms, there's specific reasons why I don't really like them anymore. This one, basically, you can pull it by standing here and volleying. I remember talking a little bit about that way back when I first did the castle. This wall doesn't really act as a wall. You can volley down this hallway, even if you're standing outside of the trap area. So I don't really like that room because of that specifically. And also, if you're standing here, you can volley inside of this room. So you can pull things back a little bit too easily. So I don't like that room. I'm getting rid of it. This room, the only reason why I liked it is because if you had a spike trap at this bottom part here, you weren't able to volley across and pull something from here, which is good, and I'm not sure if I want to get rid of this completely or not, because it still kind of works the same way as you want to get people over a trap and make them take extra trap damage. So I might leave that in here temporarily. I might still use that one. And then this room is really good with ominous orbs because it's just good space control area. But I don't think it really will work with the trash mob setup that I want to have. I want to have in my castle, at least in this rendition. So I don't think this room's going to work. I'm leaving this one in specifically because I like this setup right here. It's done a lot of good work for me. The Cyclops and the Scorpio here. I actually do need to add in that spike trap again, though. So let's do that before I forget. Right there. So this room is basically set up, except for I do need one mob group in the middle here. And I'll probably just throw something in there. I'm not sure exactly what yet. So, let's replace this room. And so we need one corner room and one straight room. I'm not really happy with any of the straight rooms, I'm pretty sure. Linear quarter is like okay, but it's not amazing. I don't have a linear quarter in here yet though, so I might use one. For corner rooms, there's quite a few options. I'm liking a lot of these, like, where are they? Corner corridors and cross halls and stuff like that. All of those are pretty good for cross rooms. There's also like a linear chamber, I believe, is okay. I haven't made much use of it. I might throw it in this castle. Let me take a look at it, see how it would look. I think I would probably want to rotate it like this, maybe. Let's see, because I can pull through this wall, which would be kind of cool, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. It's not that amazing. I could put a trap here and put the pull on this side, but I'm not sure how I could fit two groups into this. I guess I could pull it up into this room. Like that and like that. That could work, I suppose. We'll try it. We'll see what I can do with that room, I guess. And then let's look for a corner room. Rooms. I should just go into the Architects tab. Rooms are pretty cheap, and if I don't have them in the list, I won't know that I'm missing out on something. Alright, so Cross Hall 6 is one of the longest rooms for a corner. Corner Corridor 3, I believe, is the one I'm using right here. It's okay, but I think it's really only useful with these Dr. Skull pulls and stuff like that. I like segmented rooms the best. So this is Cross Hall 6, and you can see how it's all got these little segmented areas that you have to fight in. And I like those because you can have groups specifically designed to fight in these specific areas. So I think that's what I'm going to be going for, is another Cross Hall 6. And then let's rotate it so that we get the longest possible, like this. So basically they have to come in here, all the way down here, all the way around here, all the way up here. The longest possible route for the attacker to take. Alright, so that's probably going to be the room setup that we're going for. This will probably be a shorter series, probably 2, maybe 3 parts. I should actually see what time it is so that I can stop them at around 30 minutes. Alright. So, let's begin here. Alright, I'm just taking a look through everything. I think we're going to start off the same way as I'm going to put in traps first, and then work on creatures, probably starting from the back and test a little bit as I'm going through. Obviously I'll have to go through these couple groups to test, but that's not a big deal. So let's go room to room, I guess. Might be the easiest. This is obviously already tested. I tested it in my last castle build. This group, I'm not sure how much I've actually tested this. I need to switch that back. I'm not sure exactly how much I tested this, but I've had it in here before and it worked okay. This is the kind of thing I'm going for, and kind of the idea with this group would be they pull it as they're coming past this trap, and then they have to fight inside of this zone here if they don't want to take extra trap damage by going back. Alternatively, I could throw in maybe a spike trap, but then it would screw up with this trap, so I think this is fine. And it's just general space control mobs. Maybe the dampener is a little bit overboard in terms of support. We don't really want too many supports, but I think it's okay. If they try to fight in this zone, this entire thing will be silence bubbled, which is pretty good. So it's good space control. I think it's a fine group. We'll leave it in there. So this one I had a spider in previously. I'm actually thinking I like teleportation Stairmasters here. I think it would be a good spot for them. So let's take a look what we can do. Creatures, Stairmasters, and we're going to put in 3 of them, I think. We want to spread them out, but we don't want to make it too easy for them to see them as they're coming around the corner. But we want to spread them out so that they don't get one-shot volleyed. And then what I think is we want to have a Snotter kind of out here. I have to figure out where exactly I want them to pull this group. I think somewhere around in here is okay. That allows them to either attack this and back up into this zone, or attack it and pull forward into this zone. This zone they have more room, but the Stairmasters won't clump up as much. If they pull it around this corner, the Stairmasters might clump up at this corner. So I think that I need one of these Stairmasters, probably the one in the back, because he's a little far out, to be behind this wall over here. I think that's probably a good thing to do. We just basically want it so that they can only volley one at a time. And if we can prevent it, try to prevent one of them from being headshot. Like right now, if he were to stand down here, headshot up here, he would probably be able to hit him. I'm going to see if I can block off the angle and actually have him a little bit even more spread out than he is already. By going here, and maybe even lowering this guy once. Can I lower this down? Yes, I can. So let's do that. And how about this? Can this move at all? I don't think so, no. This can't move, really. Let's see, I want it up enough so that it's hitting this area up here. At least a little bit. And then this move over. Let's see. Alright. And then this can move over now? Maybe? Get out of the way for a second. Okay, it looks like I'm not going to be able to move this over much. This is pretty much staying there. That's fine. So we'll just move this back up to right here. So it's getting a little bit into this area. This is blocking off this, and this is their real space that they can fight in. They won't be able to shoot through this trap, I believe. You might actually be able to shoot over these traps. I know there's certain ones that you can shoot over and certain ones you can't, in terms of like headshotting. But if they try hard enough, maybe I can block off the angle with like a mine or something as well. I'll work on that a little bit later. But we also want a hunger bot, I believe. Probably up in this corner somewhere. Something like that. Just so that there's a chance that they get pushed back down into this trap and then also can take the lasers to the face, which is what we want from this group. Alright, so that's going to be that group. I kind of want to test it just to see how it looks in-game. So I think I'm going to go through and do that really quickly. A lot of these groups are theoretically good in my mind, and you know, practically they might not be that great. It's things that I've struggled with a little bit as I'm going through, and I'm just kind of like trying to rebuild like the same castle that I've seen before in certain places. So we'll see how well it works. You know, you can look at Stairmasters and say, well, having 4 Stairmasters is kind of weak to a volley, same as all of these, but you spread it all out, and it makes it a lot more difficult. Like there, I kind of pulled back so that they would group up so I could get a good volley. Not all of the creatures died though, and that's kind of the whole point of this castle, is that 50% hotfix that they had before made it so some creatures don't die in volley one shot anymore, which is pretty important. Mages will still be able to one-shot them because they have multiple AoEs that they can throw down, which is a little unfortunate. My castle might be actually pretty easy against mages. And you'd probably have to get like a lucky hit on a couple of my units in order to kill them. Knights, I'm not sure how much problems this will give them. But since archers is kind of the problem class right now, I'm generally building for that. Yeah, you see how these kind of all come in a little bit spread out, and it makes it so I don't really want to volley anything. You know, I can volley right there, kill off the puppeteer and maybe the dampener. But then even by volleying, the time that I spent in the animation, one of the space control things hit me, which was the hunger bot. This is kind of a nice little zone where I can fight for free, which I don't really like. I'm not sure if I can fit a trap somewhere in here or if I might have to replace this room. This is one of the new rooms that I said I was going to add in, and the fact that I can go over here and fight in this room, I don't really like it. So I'll have to see and make sure that I can fit a trap in there without causing any problems. Alright, so this is the room we were testing. So I kind of want to just look at it first, see what I can see. Alright, so before I'm aggroing this, I can see the Hungerbot barely up here. I don't know that there's a Stairmaster over here. To me it looks like, you know, Hungerbot, Stairmaster. Let's see if this trap, if you can fire over it like I thought you could. Yes, you can, I believe. Yeah, you can fire over it. The headshot did not one-shot headshot the Stairmaster. And then we can group them all up and try to volley them, but they all teleport out of the volley, I believe. Yeah, and they're all pretty high life, so that's not bad. And I have to fight in here with them, which isn't super hard. And obviously roll is causing a lot of blocks to happen. So it's not the hardest group ever. Let's see what I can do about that. It's mainly just trap placement. I think there's a little bit too much room to move around, but I don't think there's much I can do about it. I guess if I can raise this up at all, it would be good. I mean, I could put it like way up here, which would help this group, but if they pulled back into this room, it would be not as good, so I'll probably just leave it as is. It's not terrible. Alright, I think it's okay. Alright, so let's look at this room, because I'm not sure if I'm keeping this yet. I need to see how the traps fit in. I can fit one in down here, which actually should be able to let me fit one in here. Okay, it's not that bad then. As long as this room has a trap in it that forces people to be moving around it, that's fine. Now, where am I planning on people fighting? I'm planning on having this pull through the wall over to here, and having this pull through to the wall over here. So they're going to be fighting in this room and this room. So we want pressure on this hallway. We want pressure on the bottom side of this. It's not too bad. No, this can be up a little bit more. And this can be up a little bit more. That's better. Actually, this should be up quite a bit more, I think. To see if I can fit another trap in here. I don't have any more. Hold on. Summoning portal. I can fit one in here, but then I wouldn't be able to put a spike trap here if I keep this room. I'm not sure that I'm keeping it yet. Let's put the spike trap in there to see, because that's the only reason I would keep this spike trap right here, so you can't volley across it. And then let's see what we can do with another trap. I can put one in like way over on this side. Does that make it so that I can put one right here? I could put one right here if I move this up again, but that looks so awkward. You kind of need a trap here to make this work, because the whole point is them coming over this bridge and then they have to fight on this hallway here, which basically forces them back over the spike trap twice. I mean, I guess this isn't a terrible amount of space to let them fight in, as long as the space control group is good. And I can even lower this down a little bit to make a little bit more pressure. And then maybe lower this down to like here-ish. That's not so bad. So they have this little zone to fight in, this little zone to fight in, this zone to fight in. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay. I think I can work with this. Alright, so let's figure out what we're doing here. Well, this one I almost like a Cyclops in. Maybe. This one I think I like some of my standard groups with Smelly Warrior. We'll do this one first. So, Smelly Warrior out in front. Hungerbot. Probably over here. Battering Ram for sure. We need one snotter to go through the wall. Could be right here, which isn't terrible. Gives me more room to work with this room as well. How much points do I have left? 7? I could throw in a Cyclops. Now do I want Shard Cyclops, which obviously I want Shard Cyclops with this group here. I can move this back down to here. Yeah, so I obviously want a Charged Cyclops. Charged Cyclops won't be all that good here, because what they're going to do is they're going to aggro this here and then pull back, and the Cyclops will come around the corner, so that's not really that good. I could also like put in a Defendatron, just being annoying, like in the middle on AoE or something, because I don't actually need Bodyguard anymore for any of my groups. I guess you need Bodyguard for the Dr. Skull, maybe? Maybe, because AoE isn't terrible with Dr. Skulls, because it protects all of his skeletons from volley. Or, I mean, Bone Puppeteers are really good with these groups, because as they're being volleyed, if you can get one tick of heal on them, it'll heal them almost all the way up to full after the volley. Which basically means like the attacker didn't do anything. I actually think I want this Bone Puppeteer up on the top side though. The problem with Bone Puppeteers is they have to make visual contact with the hero before they can start healing, which is something I don't like about them, because they have to summon their skeletons first. If they just could like come around the corner and get in within range of these guys and start healing, it would make them a lot better. Alright, we have 4 points left. I think another Battering Ram is pretty good. Probably put it up on the top side so that it's a little split off from the rest of the group. Alright, that's not too bad. Alright, and then the next group we have a Snotter. And then what do I want to pull through this hallway? I almost want to put in a Pete Poundmore in this castle, but I might put it in my boss room. I think I might go back to the old boss room of Pete Poundmore. A Defendatron on him. And then Defendatron. I think I want to go with a Bone Puppeteer instead of a Dr. Skull like I used to do though. At least I want to try it out. Alright, I know I'm missing this Bone Puppeteer. There he is. Okay. Something like this, except I want to block off Bone Puppeteer a little bit better, and then we have a couple more points thrown at Dampener probably for good measure. The silence could be good. Although there's a lot of room to deal with a Pete Poundmore. We'd want to have him on Fist of Rage because it's such a good damage dealing ability. It does like 1500 now if he gets close enough to you. I could throw in like a Hungerbot with the possibility. No, the Hungerbot hook is way too slow to work in a boss room right now. I could also go for an Enraging Puppeteer, but then I would have to think about that in all of my rooms and how much that would screw things up. I think just throwing the Dampener for right now. And I have 3 points left, so why not a second Bone Puppeteer? Help the heals a little bit. Alright. I think that's kind of what I want to do with a boss room, or at least test it out again. Because, you know, he got such a big damage buff. Alright, something like that for a boss room. So I'm still thinking about what I want to put in here. I could do another group with, you know, Smelly Warrior, Battering Ram. Wouldn't be bad, but they all come through this hallway, which is a little bad. I could do an IMAX. Stairmasters aren't amazing here because if they start fighting them inside of this hallway here, they won't teleport anywhere. They'll get stuck on the walls. So I could do an IMAX. And a Defendatron. I'm not super happy about doing it, but it's not terrible. I'm going to put it on this side so that it can actually work. I could do something like this on Ominous Orb. It's not the worst thing ever, and having one Ominous Orb is probably good. Also, with the larger area that they can fight in here, it would make it better for the bigger Ominous Orb, I guess. We'll do that, I guess. It's alright. This group, I think I want a Cyclops. Since you can't volley, you have to go this way. I don't know exactly where I want to put him. I think I want to put him like right where this trap is. So we're going to move the trap over towards this wall the best we can. That'll help remove some of the space up here as well. And I want to have him like up here somewhere. You can't volley it, but you can headshot down that. So I need to make sure he's out of sight. So I'm going to have to test this after. You can volley like around in this area though. You have to have, it's really difficult to actually pull this off to the point where you don't aggro it with the volley, because the volley lands like right here. That's like the maximum range or something. Right in this range. So if you have something too close to the edges here, they can pull it. This might not work at all. I don't really even need that, to be honest. Let's just throw in like a Hungerbot. Just things that are space control oriented. And then we also need a little bit of damage if they just like decide to push through and go into this room. We need to have some damage. They also risk pulling this, so they have kind of a really small area to fight in right here. Our damage is probably going to be in the way of Smelly Warrior. They do 1,000 damage if they hit on heavy-handed now, which is significant for 4 points. They're still a little weak. You can't use them all like, you can't use the same unit. You can't use 4 of these in one group or 5 of these in one group, because they'll all group up, and if they miss, they'll all miss. If they hit, probably one will hit, but it's really unlikely. Like, the reason why this would hit is because they're worrying about some other type of space control. Like, they're watching this Cyclops and like, oh, I gotta throw out bear traps, and this guy's really sitting there winding up right next to him and they're not noticing it. That's the only way that this guy will hit, because he hits very slow. So having only one type of a unit doesn't really work with these type of space control groups, I don't think, at least. How much points do we have? We have 8 points. Alright, I want this guy on charge. It's actually kind of bad that he was on Fist of Rage this entire time. That means that this group that I've had in for a while was on this for a couple weeks, like since I did the testing on all of these groups since the patch came out, basically. Which is kind of bad, but it's alright. And then I think Battering Ram is pretty good. Do I really want a Battering Ram here, though? I feel like it's very similar to a Cyclops charge. I don't think it's good. I kind of like Dampener here. Yeah, I don't really mind Dampeners. See, the thing I'm a little worried about is that they're going to go to this side here, and they're going to be able to easily headshot this Cyclops. I don't worry as much about the volley, because the volley is really kind of wasted on one Cyclops, I think. Unless they volley right in the middle here, just barely on the outside, and they all have to walk through it. I think we pull this guy back a little bit. Let's see if I can even do something like this, so I can get some more room. We pull this guy back almost all the way to the wall, so he's a little bit more out of range. And how many points do I have? 6. I could do a Dampener. Probably like over here or something. Then I have 2 points, and I could throw in 2 Snotters right in front of him to make it so that you can't hit him with a headshot. You can still volley it, and he probably will die, but it's not for sure, I don't think. He might have enough hit points to get through it, and that blocks off his headshot range. Alternatively, I could do it with a mine, but he won't charge through a mine. I believe he'll push the Snotters out of the way to charge through. I gotta test this though. How much time have we been going for? About 30 minutes. So after this test, I'm going to stop this part, and I think I'll be able to get this castle done in one more part, which is pretty good. I think this castle might need more spike traps. It's very easy, like these do more damage, but it's kind of easy once you get good at timing these out to stutter step in between it, to just like back up while you're shooting and going through this. I think this castle might need a lot of zones locked in with spike traps instead. But for right now, I think it's okay. I'm really like waiting for free creation mode to really get back into castle building. Like the limits are so, like all of our options are so limited right now that I'm not like super excited about building castles because there's not so much that I can do. When free creation mode comes out, like the options are just going to be so limitless. Alright, so I do need to test the volley thing, but that's going to take a lot of time to sit there and like volley in every little area and wait for it to pull and then restart and then wait for it to pull and restart and do like minuscule changes each time. So what I want to test for right now is to see what I can see, and what that actually is this Dampener. I can't actually see this Cyclops. I can see him if I move my mouse over here, but a lot of people don't do that. So I need to move this Dampener up a little bit maybe. 1 or 2 hexes or down 1 or 2 hexes. Problem with down 1 or 2 hexes is he'll get clumped up near the hunger bot, which I don't really want to happen. So if I don't see anything really, I get to this point and then I get charged. But the charge doesn't actually make it unless I keep moving forward, which is kind of annoying. But when the charge hits, you can see how much damage it actually does, which is kind of crazy. So maybe I can move him up 1 or 2 hexes. Or closer, I mean, 1 or 2 hexes. I don't know if he'll be within vision if I do this. But I think that should hit more often. I do like how it's kind of working right now. I can put him pretty far back, it doesn't matter. Alright, again, really quick, I'm going to just test to see where I can see him from. If I can see those 2 snotters or anything, then it's no good. I'll have to move it back. Like, he's unlikely to hit his first charge, but it's okay, he's just there as extra space control. I'm ignoring these mobs so I can do it quickly. Okay, I can't see him. Yeah, no, he's got quite a bit of room. I can rotate that way, and as it reveals more, I can see him. I don't know how many people will do that though. It's pretty good. I think it's in a good spot right now. So how much do we have left to do? We've got all of this built. We have to do this room, this entire room, a group inside of here, and this room. So I'll do that in the next part. So that will be tomorrow for you guys. I hope you're enjoying the series thus far. You know, leave a like if you did, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.